Alright guys, so this is a 2-year update on the TPXXL. Bought this about 2 years ago. Basically what my permanent loadout has evolved into. It's changed several times, things in, things out, things being swapped with something else. Finally have been using this final setup for probably about the last year. I've got a TP4B, MCT, and SPLD. Maybe I'll do a video on those later. I've used the SPLD a lot as kind of my quick grab light bag, but we're going to go through this and see what the final loadout has turned into, what I've been happy with and what I've been using. So we're going to start on this outside here. Obviously a bit holder there, Phillips flathead. There's a Torx on there, square bit. Just having those when you need them, just to be able to grab it. Obviously the Klein tools. I've got the Milwaukee version as well, but this is the little ratcheting wrench. And I like that, getting into tight spots, especially getting burners out of some of the package units, getting to the screws. Real hard to get a nut driver or a drill or something back in there, so having that comes in handy. Keep 2 tapes, yellow and black electrical. That's mainly for labeling something, and this is obviously for taping up a wire nut or taping up a fuse that's been put in, something like that, or any type of electrical situation where you need tape. Everybody knows what electrical tape is for. Right here, this is my little Cobalt, kind of like a small little razor knife. I need to cut, get into something, cut it loose. It's small, it's compact, fits there. I keep one in my pocket as well, but it's going to be this electrician's or the electrical version of this, which is going to be your SOG knife. That's typically what I carry, this or a Milwaukee, in my pocket. And moving right along to this pocket on the side here, I keep a set of these little plungers. If I need to puncture a wire right there, check voltage on a wire without disconnecting it. Maybe I can't get to where the other end is. I can put this on my meter leads and plunge through that wire and read electrical. Got 2 of those. Alligator clips. These are going to be for fluke, and they go on my leads from a meter as well. Different types of alligator clips, but these are the ones that I like to use. Keep 2 of those in there. And this is going to be my needle point leads. I keep them in that little piece of PVC so that, number one, I don't poke in between my fingers reaching in trying to grab them, and plus they don't get bent, they stay straight. The meter I use stays in this pocket with the fluke leads on it. The little twisters there. I like using those. They're fairly flexible, decent length. But I carry the field piece SC480 mainly because it's short. I don't like the taller meters. This one's being short, and then having the wireless and have the app connection. I can go in here, like if I need to check amp draw on a set of heat strips, when I make sure they're working in defrost cycle, I can stick this in the air handle or clamp them around the wire, go outside, force the defrost, and read on my phone whether I'm getting a amp draw or not. Make sure these heat strips are working during defrost cycle. Keep a fluke voltage tester. This is, you can tell by the color, that's a Ryobi, but it's just an extendable Phillips that I can put on another bit somewhere if I need to get further back to a screw or something. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on something like that. It does the job. Obviously, thermostat screwdriver here. Phillips flathead, 2 different sizes. There, that's really small, but having a little precision screwdriver helps. Milwaukee ink saw, I use blue instead of black or red. It's just the color I like to use. Go around to the other side here. And Milwaukee 6-foot tape measure works in most cases. I keep another little carabiner on there if I need to hang something or add something to it on a certain job. I can just clip it on there and let it hang. Inside this pocket, these are the thermal imagers. I like this one because it clips to the back of my phone, Bluetooth to my phone, gives me a good connection. And I also have one of the smaller ones here that will plug. There's the wire extender for it there, but it will plug into my phone if I need something like that. But I use the other one. I do have a handheld that I use from time to time. I'm just going to run around and check air vents or some surface temperatures, things like that. Maybe look for moisture. I'll grab that one most of the time. But this one will allow me if I need to record some video and save it. That's the one I use. That's all that's going to be in there. I'll open this pocket. And it's been a while since I've done this, so it actually gives me a chance probably to clean this bag out and get some trash out of it. These are your core depressors, low loss fittings. Keep a set of those in the bag. You can just put that on a unit, not depress the core, and then just turn it to depress the core. Have my gauge hooked up there. When I'm finished, I can back that out, and then there's no loss there. It kind of helps on some of those Goodman package units that always spit that foam all over you. Having those helps prevent something like that, or burning your fingers, things like that. And then obviously in here, my field piece wireless probes. Got my indoor air probes. My refrigerant probes there. They stay tucked right down in that pocket. And right here, temperature probe as well. 6-inch locking bit holder. I don't like the magnetic bit holders. Prefer the locking ones. This is DeWalt, so I have one of these in every bag. I do have a 12-inch, but I keep that in one of my toolboxes over there. And if I need it, I can grab it. I'm not going to stick that in my bag, but it's there. And little tiny Knipex Cobras getting in maybe in a tight spot and getting back to something, get it broke loose. Alright, on the back pocket of the bag, an extra air probe. Put that on the outdoor unit when I have everything hooked up and I'm kind of doing a system evaluation for capacity and performance. Have the outdoor probe outside by the outdoor unit. Obviously the temperature clamps and refrigerant gauges are going to be hooked up. Indoor probes are going to be in there, static pressure probes. And I use the Measure Quick app for doing a lot of things like that. Field Piece app for quick checks and refrigerant charge, things like that. But that Measure Quick app, when you have the full probe set up, it really does a lot to help you diagnose or troubleshoot or find out what kind of issues a system's having. All right, so now we're going to get into the main part of the bag. First of all, in this pocket, keep my little parts dish in here, and this is just a little plain old tackle box I got at Bass Pro Shop. I have one version of this in each bag. Keep wire nuts, obviously, some extra screws, some little double spade connectors in there, some grommets. If I need to drill a hole in something and run a wire through there, I can put a grommet in it so the edge of the metal doesn't cut the wire. Couple of clamps for clamping a wire down. Extra TXV O-rings, some Schrader cores. I've got a couple of extra fan blower wheel locking screws in there in case I drop one. I think I've actually got a little gas pressure for a gas valve, one of those little screws in there. If I drop that and lose it, I have another one. Fuses, basically all your spade connectors in there, blue, red, yellow, different types, and then some extra screws. And I keep a little bag of 4-inch zip ties in there. On the back of this, there's a metal plate that inserts inside here from the side. I have magnets on there, so if I'm taking screws out of something, I can just throw them right on the front of my bag and they'll stay right there. Or if I have the bag flipped open, I can put them right there throw my screws there. That way I don't have to carry one of those parts dishes or magnetic dishes or something like that. I just have magnets here on each side, depending on if the bag's open or closed. I can throw them up there and they stick to it. Obviously my gloves. Everybody knows I wear the fingerless gloves because I just need my fingertips. I like being able to feel things and kind of being able to hold and grab hold of something. So I use the, if I'm digging in an outdoor unit trying to get trash or something out of it, I wear full gloves. But when I'm working, I wear these to protect my knuckles and the back of my hand, things like that. Obviously, this bag I carry a Milwaukee headlamp, rechargeable. It's got the magnetic back to it, so if I need to stick it up inside a cabinet, I can do that. Keep 2 of those. Actually, I have one on the strap, and then I keep one tucked away just as an extra in my bag, so if that one goes out, I'm there a long time, the battery runs down on it, I can just grab the other one, clip it right to my head, and go back to work. So just what I do. Obviously, everybody gonna have an impact drill. I use the Milwaukee, and I'm thinking about getting that subcompact, trying that out, but I have 2 of these, and these are the ones I like to carry. So that's what I carry in here for that. We'll go in this front pocket. I have another Klein screwdriver there. Probably don't need that one in here, but once in a while I'll grab that one and take it. This other one seems to do the job most of the time, but sometimes having that one actually has nut drivers, smaller nut drivers in it for different things that you might run into, especially on mini splits. Obviously a Olight, which I have an Olight that I keep in my pocket, but I keep one of these in each bag. Arcfeld, green one in this bag, orange one in my other bag. Keep a little Nebo light. Yes, I keep plenty of lights with me because if one goes out, I want to be able to grab and put another one in, stick it in the cabinet. Now I have to walk all the way back out to my truck or get out of an attic or crawl out from under an house just to go get a battery or a light. So I keep extra lights. Tubing cutters, the rigids. These are the ones I like the best, the ones I use the most. So that's what I keep. Little mini ratcheting stubby screwdriver, Klein, Phillips flathead 1/4 inch 5/16, and a Schrader core tightener, torquing clicks. Something stuck in there on a little pebble, but tighten that in. When you hear it click, you know you've got that Schrader core in there as tight as it should be. You don't over tighten it, things like that. Brush, coil brush. I use them to do coils and dust out the cabinets. I have another brush right here, so I grab either one of those to dust out an electrical cabinet when I'm working. It's full of cobwebs. I have to get all that crap out of there. And the little lock wrenches for the little connectors and the disconnect boxes and the liquid tight fittings, things like that. So I keep a set of those. Obviously my charging tee, Appion. I'm using my probes. I can just hook this up, tie into that, hook up a hose, hook it to the tank. If I need to charge a system, that's what I use that for. That way I don't have to get my gauges out and my long hoses and things like that. And a little piece of extra metal strap in there. That's what I'm talking about. I need to get that out of the bag. Get some of this trash out. And I keep little jumpers in there, just for an odd situation that I might need a jumper, maybe jumping a capacitor or 2 together or something like that. But having a little set of jumpers that are already pre-made in the bag saves me that time from having to go make them and then come back. I can just grab one. And that pretty much takes care of what's in here. Now that's the little Allen tool for the zone damper motors, the Honeywell motors. Fits back there, gets that lock screw out. But your refrigerant wrench will also fit the Honeywell zone damper motors. That'll fit that. It also fits the lock screw or the little tab for the gas valves, taking the pressure out, taking it out so you can check your pressures with your manometer. So there's more than one function for this other than your service valves outside. So that gets everything out of there. Obviously an inspection mirror, Craftsman. It's a large mirror. It gives me a big visual. Some people carry the smaller mirrors. That's fine. It's a mirror, so I'm not going to get an expensive one. And grab these pretty cheap at Lowe's. And I think tucked down in here somewhere, they may not be back in the bag. I need to find them and put them in here. But I have a little kind of small foldable set of eyeglasses that I can open up if I need to read a sticker if I didn't have my glasses on. A little small Milwaukee wrench, adjustable. Keep one of those in here. And obviously this comes in handy, getting back at an angle to something, tight screw. Maybe you want your impact, you want to use that, but I use these mainly for getting to those screws. It makes it a lot easier to get the blower housing out. Scratch all. Enough said about that. Another light, Milwaukee task light. It's magnetic, rechargeable. And this is what you'll see me use a lot when I'm under a house or in an attic and I need something to light up what I'm looking at. I can clamp it to the top of the unit, fold it down, turn it to wherever I need to be looking at. If I need to hang it on something behind me or off to the left or right, I can just open it up, hang it on there, and let it hang, and just gives me some light. If I'm in a crawl space, somebody's busted a light bulb or something like that already. I don't carry light bulbs. I carry my own lights. And then obviously the Knipex pliers wrench there. Sometimes that replaces my adjustable wrench depending on what I'm doing. Knipex Cobras right there. These little Carlisles, these are my wire strippers, my main wire strippers. I keep another set right there, but these insulated, non-insulated crimpers. You've got your little point there. If I need to grab something, I can grab wire. It's got a cutter there and a cutter there, and then my wire strippers there for most of the wires. Not anything real large, but for most of what you're going to do, working on an air handler or outdoor unit or a furnace. This is going to cover 1, 2, 3, 4 different things in one tool. Keep the Milwaukee cutters, strippers, pliers, needle nose there. No crimper on this, but sometimes these just work better than those. It just depends on what I'm doing. I know which ones I'm going to grab depending on what I'm doing, but it's nice having both. Then these are the 8701250. These are my big channel locks. Don't always keep this in the bag, but it's nice having a big set if I need to turn a gas pipe or something like that. These obviously will work better than those depending on what I'm trying to break loose, but I keep those in there. And then there's some diagonal cutters there, also Milwaukee right there. And probably don't need to keep this in here anymore. This is your little 11/32 for your condenser fan motor screws. And I have other things now that will do that. Obviously, I can put that on my impact or put it on a nut driver. And probably don't need to keep that anymore, but it's in there. Obviously, a magnet. If you need to drop a screw, you can reach in there and grab it and pick it up. Over here, another little ratcheting wrench for going back to get into burners. I like this one because it swivels. I can turn it up if I need to get it under something to get hold of that screw, and then get up at an angle where I can break it free. I like having that. Comes in handy. Another tool I use getting burners out of some of these package units that are hard to access the screws that are in there. This one comes in handy. and I just don't find them anymore at Lowe's or Home Depot. You'll find the ones that are already just have a little bend in them, and then the switch is reversible. I kind of like this one because I can just grab it and flip it over. I don't have to worry about a switch, but it comes in handy. It's got a lot of teeth in it, so you can get you hear that? So you get real tight turns out of this, and that's why I like it. And obviously everybody knows about this one, the Klein. Obviously, now this is a Craftsman. My Klein's in the other bag, but this is a 1/4 inch 5/16. But the ratcheting on this is not that great. A lot of wide till it clicks, so there's not any real tight movement in it. But it does come in handy to have. Back here, I keep a little PVC tube with zip ties. And these are the 6-inch zip ties. And then I keep the 4 inches in that other little bag I showed you. Back in here, if I need to get a nail or something out, a staple, or I need to pry something back, I keep one of these in there. This is a, who makes this? This is a Irwin. I think, no, is it Irwin? Estwing, made in Taiwan. But anyway, it has a purpose. It helps me if I need to pry something up or break something free. I use that rather than a screwdriver and tear my screwdriver up. I do have a demolition screwdriver, but it stays out in the truck most of the time. I just keep this in the bag. Insulated Phillips flathead. Keep one of these in each bag as well. This is kind of my primary Phillips and flathead screwdriver. Obviously the Klein Impact 11M1, which I've modified, kind of changed how I carry it, but this is the ratcheting version where I can set it where it's locked in. Keep a Phillips bit in there, small and large, flathead same way. 5/16. I don't use that much. There's not a magnet in there. Take it out, flip it over, and then I have a nut driver there if I need one. 1/4 inch 5/16. But I keep it flipped this way when it's in the pocket because it's longer and it doesn't drop all the way down in the pocket where I can't grab hold of it. I have another Klein. This is like a typical nut driver with a 6-inch shank on it, 1/4 inch 5/16. And it has that in it if I need it for putting maybe if I need to stick a socket or something on there, I can stick a socket on there and turn it. Don't use it for that very often, but most of the time it's just my quick nut driver, obviously. And if I need something longer, I can take that out, put my extension in, and stick it in there, and then I can reach further back if I need to get to something that's kind of deep into a cabinet. Works pretty well. And here I've got the Veto. Seem to use this as a nut driver as well. You break the screw loose, and then I can just pull it out with the power of the screwdriver. It's got some pretty good torque on it, and that's pretty much all it does. Flip it out, put something else in it if I need to. If I want to put that in there for a Phillips screw or something, comes in handy. So up in these pockets I keep different bits for my Impact, 1/4 inch, 3/8, a little shorter Phillips bit. And up here I have the EXC bits for the electrical panels you run into sometimes. You try to use your regular screwdriver, flathead or something, it wants to strip it out or doesn't grab it very well. These are 2 different sizes, and I keep them in there. I use them from time to time. They do come in handy to have. And this is going to be a 3/8 and a 7/16 flip bit, mainly for the blower housings. can stick them in that, put it on my impact or a nut driver, grab the nut for the housing and get it off, things like that. So comes in handy to have that extra size. And then this is going to be your bit if you're trying this 1/4 inch 5/16. You got mastic wrapped around the screw, they paint over them, this will rip through that pretty good. Grab that 5/16 or 1/4 inch screw and get it on out of there. Obviously a little step bit for different sizes. So need to pop holes in a plenum for maybe checking static pressure, or maybe I'm going to install a temperature sensor or something like that for a zoning system. Having that in there helps. And then I have this other little bit that I can put for getting king valves out, deeper, shorter, just extra for my refrigerant wrench. And then I keep this other little, another light, O-light clip. It's kind of like the last resort. Clip it up in the top of the unit. Keep a little file in here. Need to file something off, clean it up a little bit. It's there. Maybe line up some holes or something. Scratch all does that, but it's there. And up in this top pocket, obviously my short pro tool. I'm jumping things out, or I'm looking for a low voltage short, I'm going to use that. If I'm working on a heat pump or something, I want to jump out multiple things. I have all these jumpers that are all connected together there. And if I'm jumping out the fan, the outdoor unit, the reversing valve, maybe the auxiliary heat, when I get all that connected, connect this to my 24 volts, get everything fired up. Don't use that little jumper king thing. I don't need something that makes me carry an extra box. I can use that and it works fine. If I'm worried about blowing a fuse, I can use this and put it in line and it does the same thing. And obviously a little level here if I'm leveling on thermostat or something like that. I keep a torpedo level in the truck, but I don't carry that all the time. I use that if I need to level a thermostat or something real quick. And that's about it. So that's what I keep in the bag at this point, and it comes in handy, does everything that I need for the most part. I can grab this bag and get just about anything on the service side done that I'm going to be doing. So that's the final loadout. That's the way it's going to stay. And we'll do one of the other bags in a couple of weeks or something like that, and show you how those are loaded out, especially the SBLD, because I know you see me carry that a lot. And we'll do a loadout on that next time, and I'll show you what's in there. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching. It's an update video, the final loadout that I keep on a regular basis, and how it works, and does everything I need to do. You guys have a good one.